Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And I was just waiting for us to go live, but that's what the delay was there. I'm just sitting there waiting for everybody. So we had some technical difficulties today, and thank you all for your patience. And thank you for joining us in this awesome conversation that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. There's a lot to be discussed regarding many other things as well. Like I know that a lot of people seem to be having an increase in ascension symptoms right now. There's um, a lot of really intense energy coming from the Schumann and has been. It's been good energy, though it's just been a lot. Not to mention the fact that the solar flare that we just had made contact with the not a comet, and so right after um, that happened actually about the time we stopped talking yesterday, Anaî. It caused a lot of increased energy for many people, a lot of disruption kind of stuff people are talking about, as well as a lot of other things, which we could probably go into a little further later. I just wanted to say that for those of you in the audience who were wondering, is this ascension symptoms? Is it a lot of people are experiencing it. My phone and email and Telegram has been exploding all night long and all morning, and so much that I'm not even touching it anymore. So anyway, just letting you guys know, yeah, it's happening, and you're not alone. Um, and now we'll get to why we're here. The lovely Ani has joined me for a wonderful conversation. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what we get into here. So, thank you for joining us and welcome. How are you? There's a delay, so she'll take a second.
Thank you. Okay, so it says my network bandwidth is low at the moment. It's really weird because here I have a good connection, really good speed. So it's like we are not divided by an ocean, but by I don't know, a whole, solar space or something.
Yeah.
So thank you for this wonderful presentation. I am really glad to join today, and I hope that we won't be disturbed by the technical difficulties or the speed of the internet. So we could just have a chill conversation about the subjects we've mentioned before, which are ascended masters and the power of the spoken word.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to this. There's so much that's been left in like um, uh, superstition and assumptions, and there's a lot of like woo woo about interacting and assisting yourself through this process too, and becoming these these high frequency beings. And I have a lot of experience with this also in a different way, regarding individuals, high frequency individuals, surprised and trying to help us to understand that we're not beneath them and that they're here to play in the same playground as us. We're in the same sand pit, and
Right.
it's time to kind of talk about how that's okay, and what do you do to initiate these kinds of conversations and all kinds of stuff.
Right. Right. This is exactly true also for my spiritual path because, in the beginning, you look up at the source and the bright white light and archangels, perhaps angels, and then galactic family, but never, ascended masters. Just perhaps, I don't know, a year ago or half a year ago, I was like, I don't know who they are, and I'm not really, there is not so much information about them, and there is mm, not easily or not so much discussed within the spiritual communities. So yeah, basically, it's a path where you have to do your own research.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I did.
Did I lose you? Sorry, I was listening while I was posting this for other people to be able to see it. Um, yeah, and being able to understand that, I find it to be really fascinating, honestly, like because there's so many different ways to kind of quantify or categorize, a lot of different individuals. And I find that in many cases there's interchangeable words. For instance, angel is often a word used for what some might call a ET or a light being, you know.
Right, right. Yes, this is exactly true. Um, well, angel is basically a messenger of God. So, whoever, as a higher frequency being comes to deliver a message from the source could be regarded as an angel here.
Mhm. Right. And as they interact with us, they bring in what frequencies required or needed at that time by the individual. And so they can feel different from time to time too, subtly sometimes, but it's very just like I feel different when I'm, meet at different times in my times, depending on what my goal at that moment is, you know? And so it's just kind of fun to explore that a little bit. There is a comment that I do want to add because I forgot to say this earlier. Um, there was also two comets that just exploded. Two of the,
Oh,
yeah, you can actually still see it at night.
okay.
Hmm.
Really?
Hmm.
Above the northern hemisphere?
Uh, um, I think that yes, it's above the northern hemisphere. I think that hey, it's 234 blast off. Um, it's what do they call it? When supernova is what the word that they're using. They supernovaed. I don't know how do you do past.
Supernova.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Supernova is like they use for the word they use for the
Ah,
star when a
I
star is
know.
exploding.
That's what made me think about it too. I was like, wait, is that the right? It might have been just someone was excited to talk about it and didn't have the proper vocabulary, but it was a code for me. I was like,
Right.
interesting that you called it that, but and this was just along this was along that same moment when that huge solar wave went and made contact with this vessel that I find to be actually containing uh individuals, some that you would call ascended masters. That's actually what I was kind of it's kind of fun because I'm noticing for many people, the closer that this vessel, they call it three-eye atlas. There's also, we're not even talking about Swan or the other, you know, I guess now five comets. I don't know how many comets there were before I've lost track. At one point, I know there were 10, but um, uh, two of them exploded. And one looks kind of yellowish orange and one looks kind of greenish yellow.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Green and yellow.
Hmm.
So if we take the from a perspective of the ascended masters, so the yellow flame and the green flame, the yellow flame is the crown chakra for them. So it's a little bit different with the colors. And then is the flame of wisdom. And the green flame is the flame of the third eye and is the flame of the truth and healing, basically.
Hmm.
So very interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it. There's just a lot of cool stuff going on. And like, oh, by the way, just so you know, there's people in the audience. Rosemary says that the like technical difficulties are everywhere. And crazy energy today. So yeah, it was our plan was to go live on the hour like 36 minutes ago. And it just didn't happen. Like that's why I knew that something was gonna go awry. So I wrote in our announcement about this time because
Yeah.
there was just a knowing that this was going to happen. It feels like it's in Mercury retrograde right now.
Right, right. That is true. So the ruler of communications, basically.
hmm So I have some questions. You mind if I just ask some regarding this topic?
Right, sure, sure. Go ahead.
When did you first, or how could you guide someone to begin the process of having conversations with these beings, these individuals, these ascended masters?
Yes, so it's a very good question because this is the question I put myself, before coming here. Um, I think I could just, talk about my personal experience because
Yes,
I think
please.
we all have our own individual spiritual paths. So, for us to come and seek an ascended master or the source or whatever it is that resonates with us is very individual. So for me, I think I was basically guided on my path to through reading of different books. So first books which I was guided to, and actually I was blown away, was Masters of the Far East by, let me see here, uh, the name of the author. Okay, so the name of the author is,
Is she frozen? I think she's frozen. Well, I'm going to share something because we're talking about this topic regarding the power of the spoken word while she's getting her uh things worked here. Let me zoom it in so I can line it up. The spoken word with the topic with that for me truly has more to do with, or not more to do, however, a lot to do with the water that we are. Each drop of water that you contain that is within you, somewhere around 70% of you is water. That water, uh, each drop of it contains the knowledge, the information of all the cosmos in a single drop. And you're made up of many drops, and the frequency in which we speak will change how that water behaves. As an example here, I'm going to put up real quick. This is an example of Dr. Emoto's work. I know that there's been a lot more. I've of if someone will comment and remind me of the name um, on there, then we can remember the woman that's doing stuff right now. But this is an example of water. After it's been spoken to in a certain way. So you can see underneath there's truth, there's thank you, I love you, eternal. Like, look how beautiful. What they do is they flash freeze these droplets of water, and that's what they look like. It's the same example of water. There's nothing that's different about the water, of course, except for the polluted water. It's like before prayer. I've seen examples of what happens after it's been cleaned as well, and this is just one of many. There's another one of the same thing. Here's another example. I have a handful of, I guess that's the end of that stream of pictures. And that was a code that happened with Elsa and I a long time ago. Those are finger puppets. Anyway, this you could see what changes. You can see what happens in our body, in our own water, when we are speaking unkindly, having distorted thoughts, being letting
right.
yourself reside in fear for very, very often, right? And so, um, Anyway, this is so for me, I'm always saying speak kindly to yourself. Your water can hear you. And
Right.
it's really a powerful thing for me. So anyway, I'm glad that you were able to come back. I don't know how that what happened, but
Oh
welcome
gosh,
back.
it's like it's very, very interesting and I'd say a little bit discouraging, but I mean, we have to go on, right? We have to keep on going.
Yeah,
So um, it is true, basically, and the most interesting thing is those images you have shown about the water is that by basically blessing the water, we can restructure it, we can
yeah,
change the structure. So this is what ascended masters teach by the power of the word and by using the invocations of the violet flame we can restructure water so it becomes, this beautiful geometric, sacred geometry patterns that you've shown. So, yeah, we can do this to tap water so it becomes structured.
yeah,
This is right. Just by, invoking the violet flame, we use different invocations like ascended masters, they present the following. I am a being of violet fire. I'm the purity God desires. So this is when we speak over the water. So, they say that the violet flame is the closest to our physical realm. So it has been brought here through Saint Germaine. So we all know about that, of course, to help us. Clear our four lower bodies and basically balance our karma and restructure, ourselves and the water, as you said, so that we can um, easier expand in our consciousness,
yeah,
ascend. So another thing is just by speaking beautiful words to the water, just by saying, I love you, I bless you,
yeah,
it would be enough to, give a beautiful structure to the water. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And also spinning with it, like I've found like what I'm wanting to do the more is letting it spiral because it restructures it while you're speaking love. You can do it with a basic funnel. You don't have to get anything expensive or anything, it's just a funnel. You can even use a milk jug and just cut and spiral it while it's going
right,
through. And you could see it change. Like it feels like the days that I was on shrooms kind of stuff, just watching the water and just sending love to it and just being like, wow, what is it? And it'll like turn into like um kind of like a beehive sometimes. Sometimes it'll turn into like it has a pattern and it's talking to us. Like it's really fascinating. But doing that while you're speaking lovely with it or thinking loving words with it will completely change its structure. And then when we drink that water, you notice a thirst has been quenched that's been missing. You'll like drink water, you're like, man, I'm just getting more thirsty. Your body's wanting something more from it. It wants
right.
the
Yes,
frequency of it.
right, exactly. The frequency and the structure, because through water, we are also restructuring through drinking this water, we are also restructuring our own, patterns and becoming closer to the original blueprint, to the divine pattern, to the sacred geometry which we were meant to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is exactly true. And you know, they have that there is a science which is called cymatics.
Hmm.
You know about that. So
Mhm,
so they measure, they show the sound. They made the sound visible. So they show these patterns, right, with those cymoscopes, right?
yeah.
So it's interesting how you can see that, for instance, when you chant the Om mantra.
Mhm,
So there is this interesting pattern of the sacred geometry, which is called Sri Yantra. You know, the Sri Yantra. I
mhm.
think I have it in on a slide. I don't know if I can share my screen.
Yeah, let me, I would love for you to. I was just correct.
Okay, so send. I have sent request.
Go ahead.
Right, let me see if I can share here. I think I need to open that first.
While she's finding it, I wanted to just bring something up for people who don't know. There, the way one of the ways you can find or one of the places you can find examples of this is I know there's this series, Lord of the Rings series that just came out recently. Um, this is an example that you see in the intro. Oh, go, yeah, I see it. Go ahead.
Right, let me just, if I can make it uh full screen like that. Oh, okay, so this is, let me find the slide.
This is amazing. This whole thing. I'm
Right.
just
So
gonna go back
look,
and pause it.
this is how they basically show, you know, because well, when we speak, sometimes we think that when sounds come out of our mouths, so it's like a wavy line, you know, a curvy line, but it's not. So when we speak, it's basically those bubbles, like holographic bubbles, you know, like with kaleidoscopic patterns. So this is why um, you know, it's very important to be aware of the language and the wording we put into our mouths when we speak it out, so that we always you know, speak life into what we do. This is the Sri Yantra. So this is the sound Om.
That's wow.
So see here, so they registered it, and then surely, you know, this mantras, they are also the images that we have from Tibetan monks and so on of the Sri Yantra. But this is how it is in nature when they chant it. So this is how it is registered. Yeah. And this is the violet flame invocation. See how beautiful it is. So they have measured it too.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And we see it here as a 2D, a two-dimensional, but it's basically a bubble,
Right.
a bubble. So when we invoke the violet flame, we have this bubble around us, and we can just visualize and make it bigger, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I know these patterns. The way I don't get to see it as detailed and filled in as this.
Right.
I on occasion can see some energy things that
Yeah.
this is much more advanced than what I've been. This is beautiful. I
Yeah,
just want to
exactly.
like lean into it like a tunnel.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks
And
like
this
an
is what,
eye. That looks like our eye.
oh,
Look.
yeah, you're right. Wow. The all-seeing eye. That is true.
Wow.
I didn't see it this way.
So this is, those of you joining right now, this is what it looks like. The violet flame invocation looks like when you're using the violet flame. This is what's happening. This energy is a lot of times we'll start in our heart center and expand it out, right? Well, it starts there and grows big around you. And so you're inside the iris,
Yeah, this is exactly
the
true.
pupil, I mean, excuse me, not iris.
No, I think we all are mesmerized by this image, right? It's
hmm
so beautiful. Right. And then what they present, and what I also thought important to share is when you invoke the violet flame. So they were talking about, the structure of the cell and the atom, the atom in the center and then the space in between the electrons and protons.
Yeah,
And then the first image here is like this would be a cell with a normal human cell with like pollution and toxins and stuff. And then when you start invoking the violet flame, so the second image here
yeah.
is you can see that the violet flame is basically filling in the cell, right? And then at the end is filled in with the violet flame. So basically, this is also taken from with the use of CymaScope,
A
and
what?
they have studied it and presented it at this training where I was. So it's basically real. It's basically something which can help us in healing and clearing and rejuvenation, regeneration of our bodies, and also balancing the karma. So this is, I think this is very, it was really, really like groundbreaking for me, to see this
Yeah.
because, you hear about, okay, so you can use violet flame and meditate and visualize, but I mean, I didn't really understand the magnificence of it and the effect, but there is an effect and it is huge. So.
And this is something that was captured like using basically an advanced kind of camera.
Right. A camera and through a CymaScope. So they studied the human body, basically the cells, how they react when this is happening, when a person is invoking the violet flame. So this was studied to be presented, basically.
Wow. That is awesome. Or
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
other
So, I
pictures do
mean,
you have?
we have hope. We have hope we can, by using the violet flame, just, regenerate and heal and, help us through these ascension symptoms so they are easier on the body.
Right. And so when we're actively using the violet flame, this is what's happening on a cellular level in your body.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm really fascinated what you have on the next slide. What
Yeah.
else you got?
I think this was the end because the beginning was basically I meant to talk about a little bit about this ascended masters and how I came to them and just my experience a little bit.
Would you like
And
to?
if you like, I could just present a little bit of what I thought would be interesting. And also, if there are people interested, because I spoke with I actually spoke with my guides before that, and they told me that those who resonate, those who are on this path, they will come here. So that they will be drawn to perhaps look into some of the material that is presented here so they can themselves make the research.
Right.
So, yeah, so this is the book I was guided to. It's by Baird Spalding. Uh, so he traveled at the beginning of 19th century to the Far East, and then he studied them basically there, the masters, and introduced them to the West. So, and it can be found in in a free form, in a PDF form on Google, basically, this book. So, yeah, I mean, and it's very interesting. He describes the masters he met there in those Tibetan monasteries, and then some of them just were usual people just living in some villages, and they were like ancient. They were one of them was 500 years old, and the other one was, and they were looked really, really young, So so he studied them. He studied how they could increase their vibrations at will and teleport themselves and move around or bilocate. They could be in two locations at the same time, stuff like that. So he studied them, and some of the things are really, magical, but at the same time, they are real. So this is
Yeah.
everything is presented in this book. So any one of you who is interested, just click on Google and download it. So it's just there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, when you hear ascended masters, what do you think, Mila? what what is it first thing that comes to your mind?
It's a different thing than I would have said a couple of years ago, I think, is uh an ascended master is a future echo of me.
Right. Or you are
Right.
yeah.
Because time doesn't exist, so it's really a hard
Right.
construct to.
So you are already an ascended master. Yeah, it is in a way correct, because when I studied the incarnations of some of them, it's so interesting because many of them were priests in Atlantis and Lemurian temples.
Mhm.
So they actually told me that many of them walked with us, you know. So we chose to incarnate here again and be at this time through this process.
Yeah.
So it is very interesting. And I think that while we speak a little bit about them, those of you who listen, if you are drawn to one of them or some of them, just perhaps you could go and take a look at this website and see if you can find more information about them, because um, it turns out actually that many of them are supporting us already, behind the scenes, just subconsciously. They
Right.
help us on our spiritual path already. So yeah, so
And that
they call,
website is that down here on the screen. It's
yeah, Summit
summitlighthouse.org.
Lighthouse. Yeah, summitlighthouse.org. So this is a website I was guided to, and then in July, they had a conference which was called the Environment of the Soul. So I was guided to basically join this conference, online, just not big money, just about, I think it was $100 or something. And I mean, I was blown away from the teachings, the mm, stories, and the fact that they also are looking at the psychology of the person, the psychology in the way that we need to tend to our mind and our trauma, and heal it and understand and heal the inner child and balance the inner adult, so we become the inner true self, by balancing the inner child and inner adult. And then by understanding the trauma, by understanding our defense mechanisms and how we can heal and clear it, so that we become a clear vessel of the Christ consciousness. So this was also a thing which I really, I was fascinated, because I also think that, tending to our emotions and our mind is very important in this expansion of consciousness, the four lower bodies.
Mm.
Another thing which was interesting to me was that they really pay attention to developing our gifts, like gifts of clairvoyance, clairsentient, the intuition, and they look at different practices we can do that. So it was very interesting. And right now I'm thinking, I'm by no way, I'm like, doing an advertisement of the Summit Lighthouse. It's just my own experience
Right.
with that. And
It's a resource.
yeah, yeah. So, this is just my own experience. And I mean, if you resonate with it, you just can go on and see more about what it is that you are interested.
Awesome.
Right. So, yeah. And then interesting for me was that they also have etheric retreats. So this retreat I was at, it's called Royal Teton Retreat. So it's a physical retreat in Montana,
Hmm.
in U.S., and it's sponsored by the Great White Brotherhood. But they also have etheric retreats, and so I well, I it's just I'm thinking, shall I share it or shall I not? But I think I meant to share it that I just there is a specific decree you have to say before going to bed, and then you are being taken in your soul consciousness to this etheric retreat to some of the ascended masters who have them. So there is the Great Lord. There is a specific hierarchy they have. They have their councils and so on, which is called the Maha Choan, and he is the Great Lord of the Great White Brotherhood, and he has this etheric retreat. And I was just like, okay, so I read it and okay, whatever. So I go to sleep, and then I did it for a couple of days, and then I had to like leave on vacation. So like the third day, I needed to wake up really early in the morning. So I before sleep, I didn't read this decree or to ask for permission to go to this retreat. And before closing my eyes, I had one of those visions where it's like really, really vivid, really lucid. So he came to me.
Hmm.
And I felt this really beautiful, friendly, and really loving energy. It was like, oh my God. And he was like, so hello, you're not coming to the retreat today. And I'm like, no, tomorrow I have an early flight. And he was like, okay, so then until next time, and
Yeah.
I saw him so clearly and this beautiful energy. And I think I just had a crush on him because, it was so vivid, and I mean, this energy was so beautiful. Yeah, so this is how this is how I like became a believer. So they really exist. Like for me, it's really, it is a thing,
Yeah.
it is a thing. Because
It's
until then, I just had, I mean, I just had, okay, so it's not correct. I'm in contact with my galactic family, and I see them sometimes in meditations or whatever, I have a telepathic connection with them. And now I also, had this beautiful vision, and I thought it's just beautiful. So
awesome.
this is how the idea of sharing this and sharing the fact that there are ascended masters and they exist. So if some of us are really drawn to them, then we should perhaps seek and make a research of ourselves just to see what it is, because they really want to help us
Yeah.
on this divine path. Yeah, so what I wanted to go into a little more of details is talk a little bit about the lords of the seven rays. You know, we have the seven rays, and these seven rays. So there is a certain hierarchy in the Great White Brotherhood, and then there are seven lords of the seven rays, or those who tend, or those who throughout their incarnations before the ascension, they basically embodied the qualities of those seven rays, which we would be discussing later on.
Yeah.
So there are, as they say, so there are seven paths of attaining the Christ consciousness on our, the seven spiritual paths. And it's good for any one of us. Like you are either you are a housewife or a salesman or a statesman or a doctor or a lawyer. So there is a ray for each one of us, or multiple rays, or whichever we resonate with.
Right.
So all these paths, they are like subdivisions of the wholeness of Christ. And all the colors, they come into the white color of the Christ. So the white color is all encompassing.
Right.
But we will go into detail and see which are these seven rays, or seven flames. Yeah, so as I mentioned, this seven rays, they all have the same attributes of the white fire core of purity, which embody the attributes of God. And so this white flame, white fire core, can be invoked to expand our Christ consciousness. So, if you're not an adept of ascended masters, and you don't really know which is which and whatever, so you can anyways invoke the white flame, just, the beam of light,
Yeah.
as I did before. Just I'm a being of, or I'm a divine beam of light. And then in my meditation, I would visualize a white beam of light, coming from the Grand Central Sun, the sacred
Yeah.
sun, through my core. Yeah, so this is basically, yeah, what we can do also. Right. Yeah, so these ascended masters, the seven ascended masters, are called Chohans. This is also an interesting word, which means Lord. The Chohan means Lord of the race.
Huh.
And yeah, so they teach and they assist us in attending those qualities that this race encompass. So we shall see what it is, and that the seven rays, what are their attributes. I think this would be the most interesting thing, because it's a lot of information. I tried to just make the juiciest of it so that we could just have a glance, because
It's
of course,
awesome.
yeah. So, yeah, the first one, the Blu-ray. So he's called El Morya, Ascended Master El Morya. I think perhaps some of us have heard of him before. I don't know if you heard of him, Mila. El
I
Morya.
I think
You know,
I've heard the name. I just didn't know where it belonged. It's interesting too that he ascended 4 years after the book that you had suggested was written, or before that guy went
yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So he was there, you know.
Yeah.
So interesting, though, we shall see what kind of incarnations he had. He was basically King Arthur.
Yeah.
So he's the true hand of the first ray of the will of God. It's the blue ray. And he, works to help with the initiation of the throat chakra. So anything about the throat, the truth, the authenticity, and represents the attributes of courage, certainty, power, forthrightness, self-reliance, dependability, faith, and initiative. Yeah, so we can see here that his embodiments was the first one was Abraham,
Yeah.
and then one of the three wise men, which was called Melchior, and then the King Arthur, Sir Thomas More, and Akbar the Great, founder of the Mughal Empire in India. Apparently, it was one of the greatest empires in India at his time. So we can see that throughout his lifetimes, he actually embodied this blue ray, because this is, the attributes of also of power and the like he was a statesman, he was like a governor, he but here it is his government was like God over men, and it says that he was ruling um, uh, wisely and well. So he was not a dictator, but rather his interpretation of government is God over men, and his concept of true statesman is gods over men. So, he embodied the will of God through um, his embodiments as ruler.
Right.
Yeah.
This is really well put together. Thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
Say again.
This is really well put together. Thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of information, and sometimes I just don't remember. I need to look at my notes, because I think there are many things that are interesting, at least for me. Um, so yeah, he has also a retreat in India. So there is an etheric retreat, and there is a specific decree which any one of us could ask to go to this retreat. And then what it is that they do at these retreats, it's really interesting. So they help us, break, because we go to them in our soul consciousness
Hmm.
during the night, basically when we sleep, right? So what they help is break through the limitations of the human mind. So when we come back, we see multiple and different possibilities to the situations that are being presented to us in our lives. So we are better, like we have better shoes for the situations presented. And also, what is interesting for me is that we can approach those situations with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart,
Yeah.
not being stressed, or and then just having this calm mind and body, and that being able to better respond to those situations which are presented to us, basically for us to evolve,
Right.
you know. Right. So yeah. Right. So this is El Morya. Okay, so let's go to the next.
Yeah.
The second race. So this is called Lord Lanto. So this is one of the ascended masters I have never heard before. Basically, Lord Lanto. Have you?
No, I don't think so.
No. Yeah, exactly. So he is the Chohan of the second ray, the yellow ray. So the yellow ray is the ray of wisdom and illumination. And he's taking care of the crown chakra. So, the crown chakra, with ascended masters is yellow. So it's interesting because when I asked why it is that we, when we meditate, so we have all those colors of the chakra, like base chakra is red, right? And
Right.
then it's orange, and then it's yellow and green or pink, right? And then the throat is blue. Third eye is violet, and crown is white, right?
Right.
It is correct.
Pretty close.
So they told me that well, this were the chakras at the dawn of the Aquarius age, but as soon as we start, purging and clearing, basically what we are doing at the moment, so they become clearer, they become clean, purified with white light, coming from within. So this white light basically transforms them. So they come to be of another color. So the crown chakra is basically yellow. And it makes sense to me because, you have the crown chakra, which is like closer to the sun.
Mhm.
It's like in my mind, I don't know, the crown chakra, so is the sun.
It's very bright, like a sun behind your head. I've had it happen a bunch of times where I've illuminated a dark room and it looked like someone opened up a window and it was daytime. The sun was shining, and there was no window behind my head and it was nighttime. But
Yeah,
I've seen it a bunch of different times. It looks warm like the sun, so it would be a
yeah,
yellow light.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, as I said before, the more that we clear and clean our chakras, and also by using the violet flame, so the more they become in their purer form, which is the colors presented by the ascended masters,
Yeah.
you know, which I would be speaking later on as we go through this through the seven rays. So, yeah, so he is concerned with the education of the heart and illumination of the youth of the world. And he's also a master of precipitation. Do you know what precipitation is?
Well, usually it means there's some type of moisture like hail, rain, sleet.
Right, right. So this is actually it's so interesting. This term I have met for the first time by reading about these ascended masters in the Masters of the Far East. And they use this word to basically show how they precipitate from the universal, they say, things that they actually manifest in their mind before. So they can precipitate anything from, like, a chair, a house, the food that they want to eat, anything at all. So they say that precipitation is the alchemical process of drawing forth cosmic light and substance from the universal substance and coalescing it into physical form, often by using the science of the spoken word. So yeah, before doing that, they, use a lot of like invocation and a lot of willpower and visualization to do that. So it's actually very interesting.
It's manifestation.
It's manifestation. Yes, manifestation. So this is what we are going to do next, Mila.
Oh.
Right. So yeah, so Lanto, apparently he volunteered with Sanat Kumara um, to from the ancient days. I don't know if you know about Sanat Kumara, but I have heard he is coming from Venus, basically. This is
Ooh.
an ascended master. So apparently Lord Lanto is also from Venus, and that they were called the Ancient of Days. So they came to Earth long ago for the rescue of the planet. And he was a high priest in the temple of the Divine Mother on the continent that sank beneath the Pacific, known as Lemuria.
Ooh.
And he had also other incarnations on Atlantis, as did all of the Chohans of the race. In the last days of Lemuria, those who tended the flames upon the altars of the temples were warned of the coming cataclysm. So they removed their flames, carried them to places of safety, and deposited those flames in other physical retreats, or removed them to the etheric octave. Lord Lanto carried the flame of precipitation and deposited it in the area of the Grand Teton Mountains in North America. So
That's-
it is the flame of precipitation is in US, basically, where you live. You
Yeah.
just go and take it.
Just go take it. That's an awesome location too, the Grand
Yeah,
Tetons. Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, wow, just this, right? And yeah, so he had some incarnations in China, basically, because we see him here as
Yes.
like, having a Chinese outfit. And so he was the Yellow Emperor. I don't know if you heard, in
Huh.
2700 BC. And also uh, was embodied as Duke of Chu, also in China.
Huh.
So, yeah, so
That's
this
awesome.
is Lord Lanto. Right, so now we go to the next.
This one actually, someone I requested it a little while ago. Rose Matter said, "I love the pink ray." So
Yeah,
cool. Here we go. The pink ray.
yeah, the pink ray. So, yeah, this is Paul the Venetian. He is the Chohan of the third ray, which is the ray of divine love, the pink flame. And he is tending to the heart chakra, everything about the heart, the love, the beauty, the perfection. And he is actually a sponsor for the Ascended Master culture for this age. And he works with all who desire to manifest that culture in the arts. So he's basically working with behind the scenes, sometimes, as they told me, with actors,
Huh.
with different artists, especially painters, musicians. It is very interesting.
Cool.
Uh, the information about him is also interesting. So he comes from Venus, the planet Venus, the
Oh,
ascended planet Venus, not the one we, as people coming from Earth, no, just a desert planet.
right.
Because apparently Venus is a very much populated planet and it's in 5D. So many of the ascended masters come from Venus. So, they are here around the earth helping people to open their hearts, and because they are really, really good at the science of the heart, the sensitivity of the heart, the discernment um, of the good and bad, and then different spirits, and how to attend to challenges in life with an open heart.
It makes a lot of sense too, because people often talk about Venus and how it's so connected with love.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
wow, that is actually true. Venus and love and beauty as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
because they are
Even
all,
divine feminine energy they talk about a lot with it too.
yeah. Yeah, so they say that beings coming from Venus are very, beautiful in our eyes. Paul the Venetian is a majestic being of some 6 feet 5 inches in height. He's fair of countenance with deep blue eyes and golden wavy hair. He's usually garbed in an emerald green velvety garment, and since he is a native of the planet Venus, where the inhabitants are masters of the flame and therefore radiate harmony and divine love, Paul's natural heritage is beauty and grace, diplomacy and tact. His voice is melodious and kind, bringing comfort and peace to all who come in contact with his presence.
Cool.
I feel almost like I present him
I'll tell you
to
what.
those who are interested in working with him. So basically, this is how it happens. This is what they told me at this retreat. So if some of you resonate with an ascended master and want to work with him, like some of these Chohans, the only thing you have to do is speak with him in your mind, just as you speak with a friend, because they call themselves our spiritual friends. So you would say, for instance, hello, Paul the Venetian. I would like to work with you in opening my heart and just being a student of the arts and the beauty and divine harmony and perfection in my life, so that I see it in everything, I meet in my life, something like that. So
Mm.
and it is done, basically.
So mote it be.
Yeah, interesting. He had some interesting incarnations. Um, he was incarnated here on Earth in the days of Atlantis, and he was serving as the head of cultural affairs. Um, yeah, and then some other incarnations which I thought were interesting were he was his final embodiment was as Paolo Veronese, which is one of the major artists of the 16th century Venetian school
Huh.
in Venice. And then he ascended in 1588. So,
15.
why they are called ascended masters? Because although they come from different planets, they had incarnations here on Earth, serving under this, race, serving with the attributes of the race that they represent. So he was an artist, right? So he served under this ray. And this is why when he ascended, he was given, the ministry of the pink ray for us.
Awesome.
Yeah. Right. I
Ooh.
think perhaps Serapis Bay is someone who you heard, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I have heard most of these names. I have at least a vague recollection of hearing the name before. I wouldn't be able to tell you much more than that, though.
Yeah, right. So, the fourth ray, the ray of purity, is called the white fire ray. And the Chohan of this ray is Serapis Bay, or he's also called Serapis of the Sun.
Hmm,
And this ray is also called the ascension flame,
hmm.
the white light of the mother, and it is based in the root chakra. So the root chakra is white when it is purified.
Wow, that makes so much sense to me.
Really? How
Oh yeah.
so? Please
Well,
enlighten me, because I still have a little bit difficulty of seeing that.
when we do, I do weekly group meditations and it's channeled. So when I'm not making my own script or something, I'm along for the ride too, and they just show me as it's happening. And we always will go through and like rebalance, realign the chakras. As we watch it go down through each chakra, it's just something that happens almost every time we do meditations. And when they'll then declare it's aligned and open or something like that. When they say that, it changes its color to me.
Really?
The way I'm looking at it,
Yeah,
it'll glow differently, and it
yeah.
looks like a light that's inside with paint on the outside, and the paint just blows off. And that's what it's like whatever's blocking that chakra is like a layer.
Wow. You know what? This is exactly how they present the chakra with this. white, although they have different colors. So this white, the pure white is like in at the center. So it always comes out and then purifies it.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Wow.
It turns the root chakra does this white and light pink. I see light pink in it
Yeah.
in the root
Yeah.
chakra too.
Yeah. Actually, how they represent them. So they all have an element of pink and violet in them, you know, they all. It's very interesting.
Right. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So he's the hierarch of the Ascension Temple in Luxor. But this is all happening at the etheric level. So we have to understand. So it's not physical. It's like you have the temple in Luxor, right?
Right.
But there are several temples in Luxor in Egypt, but then there are several of them in the etheric level, like the city, the golden cities. Remember, we talked about them before. So
Right.
one of them is called the Ascension Temple. So he is the hierarch of that.
Ooh.
And out of this white light comes architecture, the principles of mathematics, the foundations of the building of the matter temple, and the pyramid of self. And this is what I love. I don't know why, but when I say the pyramid of self, it's like my whole body is vibrating, you know?
Right.
The pyramid of self. I don't know. Do you feel something?
Oh yeah, that's you. Wow, you know what else? I'll bet he's Thoth.
Oh,
I'll bet he is.
yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I shall see here. You think so? Because he's of Egypt?
Because he brings architecture, mathematics, and
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Just as thought. Yeah. So what they say is that as Paul the Venetian, he's also from Venus and dedicated to Earth and ascension. And he teaches the discipline of the four lower bodies as vehicles of Christ consciousness.
mm,
Right. So if I look at his incarnations here, it says that Serapis was a high priest in the Ascension Temple on Atlantis. In Egypt, Serapis was the architect of the Great Pyramid. He was embodied as the Egyptian pharaoh Amenhotep III, the son of Thutmose IV, and the great grandson of Thutmose III, an incarnation of Kuthumi. So Kuthumi is another ascended master.
okay,
He also embodied as the Spartan king Leonidas. Right. So they don't say anything about Thoth here.
that's okay. That's
Um,
cool.
right. And he was also the architect. He had an embodiment as a sculptor, Phidias in Greece, and he was the architect of the Pantheon.
Wow,
And within the Pantheon, he placed his most famous work, the 40-foot high statue in gold and ivory of Pallas Athena, the representation of the mother figure, the goddess of truth.
cool. I love that truth is being
Yeah,
guarded by divine feminine energy.
right. The white light of the mother. Wow, the white light of the mother. Now I see that. You know, sometimes I have to look 3 times to the white light of the mother.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And this is the base of the spine chakra, the root
Wow.
chakra.
And
Wow.
that's the place that or near to the place that we're getting all this energy delivered right now that looks like a rainbow going coming in through. They call it the door of God
Wow.
or the door of the soul. I always mix it up. I always say the door of the soul is what they call it. It's the place right between the sacral and the root chakra. It's right that right spot right there.
Wow. The door of the soul. Interesting because ascended masters call the what's it called? The upper below the solar plexus, sacral
The
chakra.
sacral. Yeah.
They call it the seat of the soul.
Ooh. And right, so where I'm talking about is right before it. It's like a little teeny space. And
The
right, so
door.
there's the door of the soul and the seat of the,
Wow.
yeah,
The seat of the soul and the door of the soul. Wow, that's so interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, right. Let's go to the next one.
yes,
The green ray. So Master Hilarion, I think we heard of him perhaps more times than the other ones, right?
yeah.
The green ray. So Master Hilarion is the Chohan of the fifth ray and a healing master of the green ray of health, precipitation, and truth. He is tending to the third eye chakra. So ascended masters present the purified third eye chakra as green.
Ooh,
Interesting, right?
yeah,
And he also instructs us on so healing and truth. This is the first, and then the relationship between science and spirituality,
mm,
both of which are aspects of the green ray of truth.
right.
And he also works on expansion of awareness about all aspects of truth. Yeah. Um, so Hilarion was high priest of the Temple of Truth on Atlantis. So there was a Temple of Truth. And surely we were there.
Yeah,
Right, Mila?
yeah. This is a really cool. I love this. What else do you know about this guy?
Yeah, so he transported, yeah, you know what? This is very interesting. You'll see. He transported the flame of truth together with the artifacts of the temple to Greece a short time before the sinking of the continent. The focus of truth that he established became the focal point for the oracles of Delphi. Do you know about them?
Again, it's one of those things where I'm sure I've heard it. I'm just not sure. I don't know if this is a Akashic past life or just faded memory from this lifetime, but this everything that you're talking about is ringing
Like
bells.
activations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, oracles of Delphi, messengers of truth who served under the direction of Pallas Athena for hundreds of years until black priests penetrated the Delphic order and perverted the truth that had been brought forth. The
Right,
Brotherhood then withdrew this service to embodied mankind since people were unable to distinguish between truth and error.
wow.
Yeah, and when we look at his incarnations, it's so interesting because they say that his most famous lifetime was as Saul of Tarsus, which was the Apostle Paul.
Ah,
So he became the Apostle Paul after his encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus. And Jesus sponsored Paul as Saint Hilarion, the founder of monasticism in Palestine, his final incarnation, to fulfill the law of balancing his karma incurred in the persecuting of Christians and the consenting to their death.
wow.
So, can you imagine? So, he was basically like a fallen angel, right? Because he persecuted
Right,
Christians. And then he was pardoned through another incarnation by Jesus, basically, is what they say,
right.
by uh, to found monasticism in Palestine. And this is how he balanced his karma.
Wow. Hey, I have a question because you said a
Yeah.
word. What was he's Tarsus? You said something Tarsus right before?
Yeah. So his name was Saul of Tarsus. Tarsus.
Huh.
And then he renamed himself after apparently meeting with Jesus. I'm not so well spoken in religious things. It's something I just read. So
I've heard this too. I've heard that he was called Saul and he changed it to Paul. I just didn't. I've
yeah,
never heard the Tarsus part, and I was like, wait a minute. So go ahead. Sorry, you just
yeah. Maybe Tarsus is like just the location he came from because it's Saul,
It
Saul
sounds
of
like it's
Tarsus.
Tartaria. That's why.
Of course, Mila, you come always, as always, Mila comes with her enlightenment bells. It's like, ta-da! Yeah, yeah, Saul, correct, because I pronounce it as I would see, like Saul, like Anaî, all the letters, right? But Saul, surely. Saul and then Paul, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is Master Hilarion basically was Saint Paul, and then he retributed himself through another incarnation, basically, and was
Wow.
pardoned, and now is the Chohan of the fifth ray. So I mean, we all have a chance, right?
Yeah. You're all worried about, not paying the grocer that 10 cents.
Right, right, right. Now we don't have to worry at all. Just
Yeah.
remember Master Hilarion.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So this is Lady Mastanada. I say surely perhaps think that many of us have heard of her.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I am really sorry about that. I hope she doesn't mind. But I actually I think that they are laughing right
Yeah.
now, you know,
Yeah.
just,
They don't care. People put too much
No,
emphasis on those things. Spirit doesn't care.
yeah,
They
yeah,
don't even care if
yeah.
we use the wrong name, as long as the same message is being brought forward, they don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Because, lately I had some visions about them, and every time I see them, they're like a bunch of people gathered together, like at a board, and they have some drinks, and they laugh.
Right.
This is
Right.
all, this is all they do. They just laugh. So I mean, we laugh as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so Lady Mastanada, she is the Chohan of the sixth ray, which is called the purple and gold ray of peace, ministration, and service. And she is also a member of the karmic board and serves under the pink ray of divine love. So apparently, by the name of I just read, is clear that they have a karmic board,
Right.
which there are some representatives of this of how to say this. So they advocate our cause when we are presented to the karmic board, something like that. But nevertheless, my guides told me that it's all a game, and all we have to do is just be all love and light in this life.
Right.
So we are all clear, to ascend. So yeah. So she is the initiate of the ruby ray and teaches the unfolding of the rose of the heart, helping us to develop the sensitivity of the heart. And she is tending to the solar plexus chakra. So, by the ascended masters, the solar plexus chakra is somewhere between the purple and gold and pink. It's a very beautiful color.
Right.
I will perhaps present it later on if I find it, because I don't think I took it into this presentation.
Okay.
Right. So, you know what? She was basically she had a couple of incarnations in Atlantis and worked in the healing arts and served as a priestess in the Temple of Love. So there was also a Temple of Love. So there was the Temple of Mother, the Temple of Truth, and the Temple of Love. Um, so the etheric counterpart of this temple, which is designed after the pattern of a rose, is centered above New Bedford in Massachusetts. Do you know this location?
Yeah, it's not too far from me, really.
Really?
I
Okay,
mean,
so
it'd be a
I
couple of
mean,
day or so drive, but
really?
Mhm.
Okay, so you can ask to come there. If you like, I could find the text that you should, read before going to bed. So you could come to her. to her
Sure.
retreat.
Thank you.
Um, she spent several of her last incarnations in keeping the flame of life anonymously for her family and for other members of the community. So she was basically anonymous. So we all have a chance, because
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, your life, of course, but I mean, my life is totally, totally anonymous, and I have a chance. So
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
Lady Nada, Lady Master Nada. Yeah. So the seventh ray, this is somebody we perhaps all know, the violet ray.
Yeah.
We invoke it often, and especially I remember Guardian was presenting this beautiful violet flame meditation. Was it in at the end of August or something, right? When we were
Yeah.
going through some really huge, massive upgrades and timeline jumps.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
did. He did a marathon every day
yeah,
for a
yeah.
week.
You know what? And I was also guided basically to say different decrees and invoke the violet flame in meditation by using, some of the teachings I got from the Ascended Masters. So
Cool.
basically, it's not important how we do it. It's just we
Yeah.
do it, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so he is the Chohan of the seventh ray, Master Saint Germaine, which is the ray of freedom, mercy, transmutation, and ritual. So he teaches the science of transmutation and divine alchemy.
Mhm.
Yeah, so when we speak about alchemy, so this is basically, we are all using the violet flame, when we come to a room and then suddenly the room is lighter
Right.
because we came or because we left. So
Right.
this is why the violet flame was there, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so what he's saying basically is using the violet flame through I am affirmations to balance karma, to clear, to heal, to regenerate, to send love, joy, and peace to any place in the world. So we can also use the violet flame to send love to any place in the world where we think that there is perhaps conflict or, yeah, stuff like
Right.
that. What I forgot to say is that every Chohan, they have their own ketone in music. They have their own like music or song. So but I thought the other ones I do not know, but I thought interesting. The three-quarter timers of the Strauss waltzes carry the vibration of the violet flame. So
Ooh.
when we listen to like the Blue Danube,
Hmm.
because when we listen to Strauss waltzes, I don't know how about you, but I feel this joy. And this is how Saint Germain and his violet flame is coming forth, through just listening and dancing through at this music. So it's very interesting for me. So
Wow.
they all have, their color, their ketone, their vibration, um, which is, let me see here, just a second, I'll find it.
You're doing great.
Um, okay, so let's just take it from the beginning. Because I think there are some interesting things which we could look at. So his twin flame, he has a twin flame, and her name is Master Portia, which is she's also ascended, and she's the goddess of justice. And Saint Germain is basically the hierarch of the Aquarian age. So he's the sponsor of Earth throughout this Aquarian age, helping us with this transmutation and balancing of all the karma and everything which has to go, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So his name, do you know what his name means?
What does it mean?
So it's interesting. It's Holy Brother. Saint Germain means Holy Brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so he especially tends and works with diplomats, with priests of the sacred fire, with actors, with writers, and defenders of freedom.
Huh.
And he has an electronic pattern, which is the Maltese cross. So when you look at the Maltese cross, do you know how it looks? The Maltese cross, it's red and it's very specific.
And it doesn't have one side isn't longer than the other. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So his electronic pattern is the Maltese cross, and his fragrance is of violets.
Cool.
And his mantra, what he's recommends for us to use is, I'm a being of violet fire, I'm the purity God desires. So, and also they like this, the ascended masters, they like the power of 3 by 3. So if you repeat this like 9 times or 3 times, so it's really helping in clearing whatever you have to clear. Is it like a disease, or the water, or blessing the food, you know? So we can use it 1 time, 3 times, or 9 times. So
Right.
it gives it like the purity that we need, and the structure we need. So
And
when
it's
we look at Yeah, so when we look at his previous lifetimes, he was a high priest of the Violet Flame Temple in Atlantis. So Atlantis also had a Violet Flame Temple.
of course.
So, okay, so Mother Temple, Truth Temple, Love Temple, and Violet Flame Temple. 13,000 years ago. Um, so he sustained by his invocation and his causal body a pillar of violet singing flame. This flame magnetized people from all over the world who came to be set free from limiting conditions of body, mind, and soul. This they achieved by self-effort through the offering of invocations and the practice of seventh ray rituals to the sacred fire. So basically, invoking the violet flame and
Yeah.
different things. He was embodied as the prophet Samuel, Saint Joseph, Saint Alban, the first martyr of Britain, and Merlin. So he's Merlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Merlin is also known as Thoth. So perhaps,
Really?
yeah, there's a lot.
Okay.
It's really interesting though, because if you go back far enough, everybody's connected.
Oh, wait a second. So he was also Roger Bacon, Christopher Columbus,
Ooh.
and his final lifetime, Sir Francis Bacon.
Okay, I know that name. I'm just not sure where I remember. I think it was some class a long time ago that it
Sir
was
Francis Bacon, he was a writer, I think a philosopher and writer, right?
okay. I believe that's correct. Yeah,
It
that
says
was
here that Francis Bacon has been called the greatest mind the West ever produced. He is known as the father of inductive reasoning and the scientific method.
hmm.
His
Wow.
soul ascended back to God from the Rakoshi Mansion retreat of the great divine director on May 1st, 1684. But after his final lifetime as Sir Francis Bacon, the ascended master Saint Germain physically appeared throughout the courts of Europe as Le Comte de Saint Germain, the Wonderman of Europe.
I
Actually, I heard
wonder.
about that.
Yeah.
He appeared as him. at Saint Germain after he
Yeah.
ascended.
There's a whole story about him too being connected to the guy that the Sorcerer's Stone in
Yeah.
the Harry Potter movies and books.
Ah,
That
yeah.
they people say that that's who that was it was Saint Germain, and that um he had like he lived for 3,000 years at some point, and
Really? Yeah.
so it just
Yeah.
kept changing his name to like, and then making himself be somebody else or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So they perhaps, shown the story of Saint Germain,
Right.
basically.
It's also, we're in the year of transmutation. The year of the snake is transmutation. There's other
Yeah.
things about the snake to consider, though. The fact that we're in the year of the snake, the year of the of Aquarius, or the time we're in the age of Aquarius rather, and that he's responsible for both of those things. Chef Deb said it's a very important time at present. Perfect timing, the age of Aquarius. Also, he's easy on the eyes is another comment that is really funny because it's true. I mean, he's
Yeah. That is true. That is true. But what I think is that they all are easy on the eye because the beauty of the soul is coming forth, like this purity of the white through all the chakras when they are pure.
yeah,
The beauty and divine harmony when it's coming forth. So the person just becomes his inner, you
yeah,
know.
right.
And so he tends to the seat of the soul chakra. So this is the sacral chakra. Seat of the soul is called, and it also has a violet color basically
Right.
when it's
That's really
pure.
interesting.
Yeah. So this is where our soul resides. So they ascended master really carefully attend to this chakra.
It's also the sacral chakra where a person's shadow self or inner child will hide when they've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
edited off.
Exactly. Yes, yes. So what they say, thank you for mentioning this, because what they say is that we have to heal the inner child to balance it with the inner adult, so our true self comes forward, and the inner child is in the seat of the soul, is the soul, basically.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
super validating for me to hear it, even though when we're doing these things, I know that what's being said is true and I'm being shown it and it feels correct. It's so interesting to find where it's made a reference has been made. This is only a discovery I've made probably the past year or two, doing meditations and stuff with people, doing sessions, and I'll find that sometimes there's a lot of inner child, like there's a schoolhouse of ch amount of children in there, like, and I asked, and sometimes it's these different incarnations, like so however many times you've edited yourself in a
Yeah.
single lifetime, you're going to have that many. And then think about how many other lifetimes that you've not reintegrated that inner child. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all
Exactly.
in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. This is true. They pointed out to me that there are millions of ascended masters, basically.
Yeah,
Millions, and most of them work anonymously. We don't even know about them. They just work under those Chohans, the lords of the race. Now I'm presenting those like the principal ones just for us to
yeah,
have a point of reference,
right.
because some of them we have heard. But for instance, for me, was surprising to see the incarnations and surprising to see so much reference to Atlantis and Lemuria, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It does have and the fact that, I mean, that's where my memory comes from is Lemuria, a time of
Yeah,
Lemuria,
yeah, mine
and
too. Mine
yeah,
too.
I
Yeah.
wondered if you're going to bring that up because I do, yeah.
So what they told me is we have worked together, many
Yeah,
times. We
yeah.
have worked together. Now we work again. It's just we don't see them because as you show those circles behind
Yep.
your screen there, right? So some of us are in the old earth and then in between and then the new earth, right?
Right.
Yeah, so what we've talked about is basically our path is like there is a time in our life when we basically don't see some of the people because we have outgrown them. We don't longer resonate with them, so we don't meet them. And then we meet new people, kinder people, more
Yeah.
loving or whatever. And this is basically the expansion of consciousness.
Right.
So there is a time at the end of that line that we are gonna meet them and
Yeah.
be with them just as friends, just sit at that table where they laugh and laugh together. This is
Right.
what I see, you know.
You t-
So yeah, so let's find out a little bit more about them before we meet them, so that we know which gifts to bring to them.
And
You know.
yeah, culturally speaking too, a lot of people have hesitancy when it comes to, like there's some type of belief indoctrinated on the whole royalty or the celebrity kind of concept where it's like your voice isn't a desired one to be heard at the table when that's not true at all. The
No.
first Ray you talked about was Arthur of the Round Table.
Yeah,
There's a reason the
exactly.
table's round.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, Mila.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is true. Yes. Yes. And for me, the inspiration was, for instance, Lady Nada. You look at her, such a beauty, right? But
Yeah.
her last incarnations, they were anonymous. She was just tending to her family, and she's ascended, So, I mean,
Right.
there are different ways, different paths, and it's very inspiring.
Before we move on, I saw you moving. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Someone asked a question in the audience about what I meant with edited off. And so when we fractal ourselves in this lifetime, what usually occurs is a family member, loved one, peer, teacher, someone passes judgment and makes you aware that a characteristic of who you are is undesirable somehow. Sometimes it's punishment or some type of undesirable repercussions. And as a result, what we do is we say, okay, I'm not going to be that part of me. That part is not desired. Sometimes it's more that it need for inclusion, feeling included, that will part ways with aspects of who we are. And what happens is these aspects don't actually dissolve. They are part of a puzzle piece that you are a whole puzzle that get stored away in this sacral chakral space. And we don't always know to reconnect to it. They call it the shadow self because of Freud, I believe. I always mix up who it was. I used to be a behavioralist, and even back then I always mixed up everybody. But there was a doctor of psychology or behaviorism or something that had come up with this word. Um, that's why we call it the Dark Night of the Soul because that's the automatic process of us reinitiating conversation and inclusion of these shadow aspects of ourselves in order to do it face head on without having a distortion come in out of nowhere and hit you upside the head. We can approach it by doing what's called shadow work. Carl Young, thank you so much, Rose Matter. I don't know what it is about that. Anyway, there's like four names I always mix up. Anyway, and so we also use the word inner child to mean the same thing. And shadow work is facing it head on. Shadow work is going into those places where this inner child resides and is hidden in some way, and we reintegrate them. We bring them back into the loving fold of your complete wholeness. And when we do that, we find out that a lot of what that aspect, that puzzle piece of you that was put away, it contains some really powerful uh, uh, gifts, attributes that you've been missing. and you'll notice it as it begins to be integrated once again into a wholeness. So, and this guy is responsible for that. So
Yeah.
it's really fascinating that we're here now.
Yeah. Yes, yes. It's interesting also that they speak when they speak about him, they speak that he was dispensated with this violet flame to bring it to earth because this flame is the closest to the physical realm. So this is the flame we are supposed to use to heal and clear.
Right.
This is what they say, you know. So yeah, right. Shall we go
Please.
further? I have the Maha Chohan. For me, it was in the beginning, it was a bit difficult to pronounce. I was like, wow, such an interesting name. And I was repeating it, Maha Chohan, Maha Chohan. It's interesting. So it means the Great Lord. And he is embodying all rays. So he is the Lord of the Chohans, right? And
Mhm.
he is representative of the Holy Spirit and the white light.
Okay.
Maha Chohan is the one who holds this office in hierarchy, representing the Holy Spirit to the evolution of this planet and the elemental kingdom. So it's very interesting for me that in those invocations they use, they every time they mention the elemental kingdom, fire, water, earth, um, and air, the elemental kingdom. So they always mention it. And there is also a decree which is called the Save the Elemental Kingdom.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really interesting. So they take elemental kingdom seriously. I mean,
Right.
for me anyway, because I'm just a comer and still learning and having a lot to learn about this spiritual path. And yeah, so it is very inspiring.
Yeah.
So, as the representative of the Holy Spirit, he embodies the white light of all the rays of the seven mighty Elohim. He is called the keeper of the flame, as his motto is, I am keeping the flame for you until you are able. So, when I say this, I don't know why, but I always have tears in my eyes because it's so humbling. This is the ascended master that came to me in my vision because this was I don't know by chance or not the first decree I read or invocation to go to the retreat. So apparently the retreat was to go to him. So I didn't know. I just when you go to a training and then they tell you, okay, so you have to read this before you go to
Right.
sleep.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, okay, good. If you want to go to the etheric retreat. So, yeah,
I love that they also said the seven mighty Elohim because Elohim have
yeah,
been mistranslated. It's a plural word. It actually translates from its original tongue of when it was originally written. It translates as a plural, those who come from the stars. Or
yeah.
sometimes it can be translated as uh, very much people of light.
Mm. What they say, it's interesting that you mentioned that because what they say is that Maha Chohan embodies the white light of all the rays and teaches the sevenfold balance of the rays of the seven mighty Elohim, which in turn manifest upon the brow of the initiate as a crown of crystal light when that God mastery of the seven rays is reached. So a crown of crystal
Yeah,
light is very interesting. It's like I've seen it before. It's so weird.
yeah,
So as I saw him, he was very humble, and this is a quality that all of them have. They are really very very humble. And Maha Chohan is very present to help all who call to him. So we can call him at any time. And this I'm keeping the flame for you until you are able is really, opening us up to communication with him, basically. Right. So he teaches about the balance of body, mind, and soul, and through the mastery of the free will, of the desires and the desire body, and of the path of the sacred heart and the ruby ray, as the initiate balances the threefold flame and attains equilibrium in the white light of the seven rays in his chakra.
Mm.
Yeah, so he represents the Holy Spirit of the Father, Mother, God, of Alpha and Omega. And what else? I thought it's interesting. Mm. So he's talking well, and in this interesting, maybe you know something about this because you're not so versed in Bible thing and religion thing. When you call to go to his retreat, so you call to receive the 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Do you know something about
The
and
nine
what
gifts of the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the directions.
Okay. Okay.
So, you have nine totem medicine. So because you have above,
Yeah.
below,
Yeah.
within,
Yeah.
to the east, to the north, to the south, to the west, and you also have your divine feminine and your divine masculine.
Yeah.
So there's a total of nine directions.
Ah, wow. Okay. So it's like mastery in all of them.
Hmm.
Wow, that's so interesting. Right.
The,
So they also actually they make a point in saying that the element that corresponds to the flame of the Holy Spirit is oxygen. So they make a point, a real big point about breathing. So they
yeah,
talk a lot about breathing correctly, and this there are different, kriyas and stuff they teach how to breathe. One of them is simple, is um it's called the I am light breathing. Is basically you say in your mind, I am light, take a breath in and then stop, I am light, and then take a breath out, I am light, and then stop, so it's like square,
right.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I am light, kind of like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so another one is breathing through your nostrils. Like you take a breath in, you stop, and then
Dragon
breathe.
breathing.
Yeah, it's like Kriya yoga. So they speak about this a lot. So they say when we breathe in, we take in the Holy Spirit, basically, because it's oxygen.
Yeah,
So we need to take it in as we eat it, you know?
that makes sense.
Yeah. Very interesting. Another thing is when we um, when we breathe in, so always I mean, always, or just perhaps in meditation to visualize that we breathe in,
Yeah.
white light, and then breathe out whatever that is.
The
Uh,
byproduct of density.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, a lot of accent is given to the breathing.
Hmm.
So yeah, and also when we breathe, we can remind ourselves of the Maha Chohan. Yes, so the consciousness, so he has a really big consciousness, really big causal body. So the causal body is like the angelic body they have, as I understand it. So the consciousness of the Maha Chohan is comparable to the great central sun magnet, and he focuses the magnet upon the planet that draws to the earth the emanations from the sun that are required to sustain life. Yes, and he gives actually initiations to all chakras and all the rays. And let me see if I have some of his incarnations here. I don't remember. Maybe I do. Oh, an interesting thing is that his temple is called, his etheric retreat is called the Temple of Comfort. All right, so I will just continue speaking. And the Temple of Comfort, and so he gives when this etheric training is taking place. All right, so you're back. Shall I repeat?
Oh, I can hear you. That's why I wrote the note. So no one can see me when I'm not talking. So as far as they knew, I
Oh,
was still
sorry.
here.
It's because I can see my presentation on the screen, so I didn't see
It's
you
okay.
with
It's
the note.
okay. Yeah, I just stepped away just for a second. I could hear everything you were saying. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So his temple, his retreat is called the Temple of Comfort. For me, it was interesting as well, and it's over Sri Lanka. And they say that while this training, or basically when we are there in our astral bodies, when this training is taking place, the Maha Chohan strengthens the fibers of the spirit in his role as counselor, comforter, and enlightener, laying firm foundations for the rainbow spheres to descend in concentric rings of light, coalescing the aura of the causal body around the central sun of the heart chakra, here below as above.
Hmm.
So they are speaking of the rainbow spheres.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, interesting.
I
Uh,
see rainbow spheres all the time.
really? Okay,
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, you work with him. This is for sure. So they say that the bestowal of the nine gifts is by definition the transfer of the initial matrix of the power of the three times three, which the disciple must learn to wield, enhancing it through the balanced threefold flame and the science of the spoken word. Yeah, so I mean, I still don't understand it, but maybe you do.
Well, it does make sense. Well, because
Okay.
one of the things we kind of started our conversation about was the
Yeah.
word and how
Yeah.
it's a form of spelling.
Yeah.
You know, we use the
Correct.
word spelling for a reason,
Yeah.
and um, that frequency can heal or it can, cause disharmony, and we can make
Yeah. Correct.
choice.
Okay. I understand. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh, an interesting thing about him is that he is basically present at our birth and death. So he ministers to every person on earth as we enter this world and as we exit. So
yeah,
at the moment of the birth, he is present to breathe the breath of life into the body and to ignite the threefold flame that is lowered into manifestation in the secret chamber of the heart. Can you imagine?
yeah, dude.
This is so beautiful. Do you know the threefold flame of life as they present it?
What is it?
So the threefold flame of life is a flame I actually saw before in a vision, before I was guided to them. It was so interesting. And then I saw it, how they present it. So is three flames. It's the blue, the golden, yellow, and the pink. So the blue is the truth, the will of God. The pink
Yeah,
is love, and the golden wisdom, golden yellow ray of wisdom. So we have this flame of life in our hearts, you know, and as according to them, the more we are on this ascension path, on this expansion of consciousness, the more this flame of life is becoming brighter and stronger, you
yeah,
know. because this is our flame of life, which is again being taken by the Maha Choan when we die.
Right. Right.
um, yeah, so he also attends at the transition called death when he comes to withdraw the flame of life and to withdraw the holy breath. This is very interesting.
It is.
Mm.
There's a comment I would like to read real quick, if you don't mind.
No,
Um,
sure.
the masters represent Rose Matter wrote this, and it just really helps to kind of put this into a nutshell so we can for deeper understanding. The masters represent the chakras on earth as well as the chakras in us, or each dimension and or shift forward. And
Yeah,
that's very much true. In fact, I see the every time we shift, the color changes a bit. And like we were talking about earlier, where
yeah,
each one of these seem to be a color that isn't what we're told is. And
yeah,
often when I do the chakras, we won't even say what color it is on purpose, because
yeah,
everyone will have a different color there depending on where you are in your ascension as well as your day. It changes day by day depending on your level of stress in a specific moment or your level of love.
yeah. That is true. Thank you, Rosemary.
Yeah, that's really good.
It is really good. Yeah, it's a really good parallel to what we're going through.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I love
So
that. Sorry, excuse me.
yeah. So when we look at his incarnations, so the most interesting for me was that he was embodied as the blind poet Homer.
Ooh, wait, what?
Yeah.
He's
So he
Homer?
was, yes, he's Homer. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Whose epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, include his twin flame. So he has a twin flame. He's occupied, by the way. So my crush is yeah,
He's
Pallas
taken.
Athena. Yeah. Yeah. So
Who is
yeah,
it?
I just say it as a joke because when we have a crush on somebody, as they explained to me, it's just because we would like to embody those qualities
Right.
of the person we have a crush on.
I spoke over you when you said his twin flame's name. What was it?
Yeah. His twin flame name was Pallas Athena. Is Pallas Athena.
Athena, of course.
Yeah,
That's
Athena.
fun. That's hilarious. That makes so much sense too.
Yeah,
That's fun.
that's so interesting. And actually, surprisingly for me, and this is also how he came to me in my vision. So in his final embodiment, he was a shepherd of India, a shepherd in India, just a simple shepherd,
We
tending
all
to
have to have a lifetime like that, right? The potato farmer version of
yeah
your
yeah tending to sheep basically. So this is how I saw him, very humble, you know just yeah, it was a beautiful vision.
the
Right.
famous poet Homer, not Simpsons, just for anybody for people who are commenting and asking who Homer is. The
Yeah,
Odyssey he's most famous for. Isn't that the right way? I think it's the Odyssey, isn't it?
yeah,
The
the
Odyssey of
Odyssey, yeah,
Homer. We
the Odyssey.
we were in ninth grade reading it. I don't remember. I don't know what everybody else, but we all had our different. We needed to sample it, and he was a blind poet, basically, is what they called
Yes,
him.
he was blind. Yes, that's true. The blind poet Homer.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's also very touching for me that they say that Maha Chohan will minister to you at every crossroad in life if you will but pause for a moment when making decisions. Think of the Holy Spirit and simply say the mantra, "Come, Holy Spirit, enlighten me." It's very beautiful. So come,
Wow.
Holy Spirit, enlighten me. And then you'll be helped.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, so this is basically it. And the next is about the power of the spoken word, which we took in the beginning because we were speaking about it. As I have shown how the spoken word and what we speak is through the science of cymatics, and through this instrument of cymoscope, they show how basically we make bubbles. The sounds that come from our mouths are like bubbles,
Yeah.
and when we speak joyful sounds, the bubbles are beautiful, right? Like balloons.
Yeah.
And when we don't speak so the beautiful sounds, then perhaps the bubbles are not so beautiful.
Yeah.
So we always have to, take care of what we speak. And ascended masters, they always say, for instance, in the morning, we need to speak life to our body. Speak life to your body. Like say, I feel rejuvenated, or whatever it is that brings you joy, so that those bubbles, they are beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is an image of the sound Om, which is the Sri yantra. I know maybe many of us know this geometric pattern. It's a sacred geometric pattern, the Sri yantra, which is painted by Tibetan monks. But this is how it looks, on the right hand side. It's how it looks in reality by when it's measured with this cymoscope.
Right.
Right, and again, the beautiful bubble of the violet flame invocation.
And this is what, for those of you who missed it earlier, this is what it looks like when you're utilizing the violet flame in some way. This is what the energy is, and you can feel it. And if you have the ability to see it, this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And
Yes.
please go on.
And this is how our cells are being transformed while we are using the violet flame. So if in the beginning, well, the first image, the upper image is just an ordinary image of a cell with the atom in the center and protons and neutrons and the space in between. And then the left-hand side is an image of a cell, which is, of an ordinary woman, human, which is filled perhaps with some toxins or, stress. And then when we start invocating the violet flame, then it feels the cell. So it purifies it basically. And on the right-hand side, it's already filled with violet flame.
This is actual like capturing of what the like
Yes.
before and after
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the actual capture made by those scientists using the cymoscope.
Yeah. And, I'm watching the comments too. If you consider how quickly it can go from such a toxic looking environment, a very unbalanced energy to clearness. It's very quick that this occurs. It doesn't take very long at all.
Right.
And because there's comments, people are saying, "Wow, that's what a word really looks like." Imagine how many bubbles you walk through every day that are gross. And it's like, yeah, well, that's why we use these tools. There's
Right.
spiritual hygiene that we often
Yeah.
forget how the important they are, but look how quickly you can go from distorted. And just to add this last part, I do see energy not as well as they're showing here, but yeah, I know it's correct because it's the same principle or very similar. Is that the orb of the word that comes out? It actually it also ripples like a stone in a pond. It goes and like it's not as strong the farther out it goes too, so but when we walk through as someone who's in a place of joy, when you're in that, you're already transmuting all that stuff. You're in autopilot alchemy. you know?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, and it's very interesting you point out about the spiritual oh, what's it called? So we have the spiritual practices we do to,
Hygiene.
remain clean, and the tube of light, the beam of light, the sphere of light that we use in meditations every day, not necessarily the violet flame, although they show the violet flame how easy it is and how well it works on, you know, restructuring ourselves at the divine blueprint.
Yeah.
So yes, we really need to be aware and take care of, take care of this, take care of that our spiritual practices cleanse us every day, basically, especially being in a crowded place. But I know, and I think that many of us, we feel this.
Yeah.
I mean, like for me, when I would go in a store center or something, or in the mall, which I usually don't go so often, but anyways, you need
Right.
to go there sometimes. I think we can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel different energies, and then um, um, how important for me is after that to cleanse myself. Going to the nature, or
Yes.
making some rituals and some practices just to cleanse myself of those thought forms, those bubbles. Now we see them.
Right.
Basically, they are bubbles, and yeah.
That's
So
also why a lot of us will not even realize what we're doing, but will intuitively just will feel dirty and we need a shower. And because
right,
the act of showering is very, you're you're doing this with the physical water, but you're also doing this with your intention of washing yourself. And that is invoking all of these other amazing energies while you're doing it. I mean, what I'm trying to highlight here is, it's really good to do everything with intention. See how we're already doing it? It's not something that you have to be a master to be able to do. You're already doing these things. Maybe just do it with a little bit more intention, and you'll find that the results are incredibly powerful.
right. Yes. Yes, so this is basically my presentation.
Awesome. Well, thank you
This
very
is what
much.
y- you know, this is what I thought it's interesting, and I really wanted to share, but I also wanted to share this through my own experience because we have all our individual paths, and it's for each and every one of us to research and see what we resonate with, what it is that draw us towards, and then just choose it. But for me, what is important to remember from especially this presentation is the power of the spoken word. Is not only the ascended masters, but we hear it from every place now, from every spiritual community, and psychologists and whatever, you name it, that words are like spells. Words are powerful. We really need to be careful how we speak and what words we use, the wording. And even more than that, when we, enter this uh, collaboration, shall I say this, with an ascended master and start making those invocations or I am affirmations, so it becomes even more powerful.
Yeah.
you know, like the I am affirmations presented by Saint Germaine, for instance, like the one I use every morning is I am the great opulence of God made visible in my use right now and continuously, for instance. Or I am the mighty electronic energy flowing through, feeling and renewing every cell of my body right now. So, this wording is power. And when I speak it, I really feel how it transforms my body.
Yeah.
So, yes,
The example that I liked because it was something I've seen is the what Om looks like because you go into these places and you know the reason that they're so high frequency is that they've been cleaned like repeatedly by
yeah,
using this energy. And so as
yes,
you walk through, you can pick it up and fill your pockets as you go through the building.
right. Yes, this is interesting because in the book I presented before, they speak about those temples in Tibet where they chant Om basically throughout the day.
Yeah,
They are so clean. People come there and they are getting healed right away.
yeah.
This is the first thing. The second thing is you cannot speak bad words there. You just cannot, you
It just
know,
doesn't work.
it doesn't work. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And the one who was studying it was like, no, no way. So he tried to say something. He couldn't.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so high vibrational.
Yeah.
Just yeah, interesting.
And just, like was talked about earlier, I think Chef Deb mentioned it in the comments. She said that, obviously this has probably got to do with, I'm paraphrasing because I can't find your comment right now, Chef Deb. Though you're walking around and all of a sudden you feel pissy, I think she's used the word, or grumpy or angry. The same is true for other frequencies. A lot of times we don't realize all what we don't even think about. All of a sudden we feel better. We feel happy. And then we're like trying to find a cause and to blame it on or something like that. Well, the same is true for these other kind of energies, all of it. And so we can choose to pick up the energy that's around it. Sometimes it's the kind of energy that's on the bottom of your shoe. You can't really avoid it. Just remember to wipe your feet before you enter your sacred space, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
other times it's, I'm don't realize what I'm diving into. And so let's orb up, create that bubble of light and you end up helping everyone else as well. I do it for my own calming love and grace, so I can be in that place again. And the awesome side effect of it is that other people are getting benefit from me transmuting this energy, from bringing the love to it, and I, I've had recent, so I don't know if you've noticed, I know a lot of people have commented on it over the past little while, where it's just like the muggles seem to be kind of disrupted right now. There's like not everybody and not everywhere, but a lot of them. In my street, there were a lot of angry voices from muffled houses, you know what I mean? Just enough. And people are fighting in their houses. You can hear it just enough that you know it's happening. And I could feel it before I could hear it. And it was uncomfortable. So what I was doing was a natural response. If someone's leak is dripping on me, I'm gonna wipe up, will stop the flow so I can be happy. And while I was doing it, then I became more aware of where it was coming from and sending it, but as an appendage, not as I'm taking something off myself and throwing it over there. It's like an extension of me. Um, and all of a sudden, everybody started to calm down. You could see it
Wow.
happen. You could hear it, and it was changing. And I wasn't doing this initially for the service of others. It was because I
Yeah,
don't want to be in that energy.
yeah. Yes, yes. Wow. Wow. But through this, you also, service the others' energies as
Yeah,
well. You alchemized it,
right.
transmuted it.
And I
Wow.
think that's how most of us do these things, is why I wanted to bring that up, because a lot of people like it's like a selfless act and you're giving to, you are. However, you don't mean to. And in
Yeah,
fact, being selfish is been so, emphasized as a bad thing for so long now. But it's not, being selfish isn't exactly what we've been told it is. Taking care of yourself first is what spirit's telling us to do. you can't feed from an empty cup is a really, really popular proverb, but it's that we can't give something we don't already have. And not only that, but that once we have it, it naturally spills out. You
Right.
naturally help people without even meaning to.
Yes, yes, because when you first start this spiritual practices of cleansing and magnifying this bubble, then the field around you, you don't even have to do anything. Just the
Yes.
field around you is doing the job. You come into the room, everything lightens up. I'm
Right.
talking about you, Mila.
Oh, thank you. I'm just saying, yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, yes, it's actually true. Yes, we change change ourselves, change the field around us, through our aura, and then we don't need to do much work. Then everything is basically, done through this field.
Yeah. And as a result, then everybody wants to come play. And that's that last part is that because again, this is another word people use, it's they're selfish against it, is that it's okay to say not today or maybe not ever. I don't usually use forever kind of words because I've found how much changes, that it just doesn't really, there really is no forever when it comes to those types of things. However, being okay with honoring yourself enough to say, I can't. I will not go to stores on certain windows of time, not because of religious reasons or something like that. For me, it's energy. If the energy is intense and I know that there's a lot of maintenance I'm going to have to do upon return, I don't know if I want to. And I'll just say, you know what? I'll get more cranberry juice tomorrow. We'll be okay for a day without cranberry juice or whatever it is. And, that is okay to do. If someone, a lot of times I'll notice this too, is that when the energy is really disruptive, there be all of a sudden more people are become aggressive to try to contact me in their disruptive kind of place. Um, or there's a lot more people trying to aggressively, meaning they won't take a no for an answer, or they're trying to not have to. Um, about including me in some type of event or gathering when I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. Like I'm all
Yeah,
set. They're doing the
yeah.
state fair and everybody's like, you should come to the state fair. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you don't obviously know who I am. Because no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I resonate. Yes, yes, I resonate with that. And basically, for me, it's like when they call me to join some kind of gathering, I basically feel it. I feel what kind of energy, and then okay, sometimes it's oh, thank you. I just stay home tonight, and
Yeah.
it's like no, nah, not me, not today.
And that's what Chef Deb just said. Not today. You can say not today. You don't
Yeah,
have to say
yeah,
not forever, even though maybe
yeah.
in the back of your mind you're thinking
Yeah, not
that.
today. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are seasoned people here, this gathering. So of course
Mhm.
we know what we talk about, but it's sometimes also for me it was interesting to, dig a little deeper and see f- yeah, for me it's always interesting to see things and to understand them at a more basic level so that I can
Yeah.
identify myself with them,
Yeah. Hmm.
like some of those incarnations, you know, anonymous or stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, something like that.
Right. I
You
mean,
don't need to be a poet, a blind poet to ascend or something.
right. I mean, we're all ascending and we're all
Yeah,
ascending. We all
yeah, exactly,
are
exactly.
past, present, and
Yeah,
future. And
yeah, exactly.
There's also the transcendence that's occurring, and that's a whole different topic that we probably won't jump down today because we've been on for 2.5 hours.
Oh my God, I just looked at the time. It's like it's gone like that for me. I was speaking. I hope I didn't bore you
You
too
did
much.
amazing. I was taking notes. I think I filled like 5 pages of notes. Like
Okay.
you did really well,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if you would be doing that presentation, but when you pulled up that PowerPoint, there were so many cool things in there. I'm really happy you did highlight
Thank
them and
you.
let us see it and follow it. Yeah, it was. We got. I'm sure you'll see if you go back and you'll see the comments. I couldn't put anybody's comments on the screen because we're not using Restream today. We're just straight up Zoom, straight to YouTube, and so it's
Yeah.
also not on Facebook, but. I have been seeing the comments, and if you do get a chance, maybe go back and look. I think it takes 24 hours before you can see the live comments. The AI people have to decide that there's nothing mean in there or something, I guess. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Um, and then you can see, though, it's so amazing how many things have resonated with people. You really benefited a lot of people. I could see a lot of light bulbs lighting up above people's heads, basically. And so.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is what they told me because I was like, shall I do this or whatever, and they were like, those who will come, those are the chosen ones. They told me chosen ones because they chose themselves to be here at this moment, and they really need to hear this because this is what will put them on the path of collaborating more consciously with ascended masters if they choose to do so. So, I
Right.
mean, you know,
And right now's the time for it. I mean, we're just at so we're in what spirit is calling a respite that will go till the third or the fourth, depending on a couple of factors. However, so that's just a couple of days away. What is it? I don't even think it's a whole week, is it? No, it's a week. Maybe. Nope, it's not a week. Yeah, it's a week away is the third. Sorry, excuse me. Um, and what that means usually is there's a lot of integration and a lot of communication. You get a lot of downloads. You maybe are very motivated, but just don't have the energy, because there's a lot of stuff coming in. And so this is the best time this is one of the best kind of times to connect with spirit in this way, where they're already opening up a series of communication lines, that are
right.
unique to you and new.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear because I know a lot of people are going to be having some experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and a lot of people are saying thank you. Kara says, "Made my day seeing you and Ana'i. Great chat." Jeff Deb says, "Thank you again, family. Have a wonderful
Thank
week."
you.
Don Bauer says thank you and put up a whole bunch of awesome emojis. There's a lot of people saying Rose Matters sending hearts. Um, yeah, it just
Thank
you
you.
appreciate it a lot. You're being appreciated by everybody. Every piece in physicality is consciousness. It's conscious. You're the alchemist, human form that acknowledged source in one love, says Don. Yeah. Aho.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much for being on the show today and for presenting such a
Thank you.
beautiful presentation. I just realized I'm used to resume or restream automatically recording it. This will always be on YouTube. It won't be deleted unless I choose to delete it, which I can never imagine I would. Um, uh, but I don't have a recording to send to you like I usually would do. So sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Because normally I'm like what I'd have to have done is hit record on my end, and I'm so used to being lazy and letting the computer do it for me.
Mm, yes, I
Yeah.
understand that. It's okay. I mean,
Okay. Well, I'm really glad that we were able to make this work. That's a really great
me too.
presentation, Michelle. It was awesome.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey today with you. I've also had a lot of activations, basically looking at this information together with Mila.
Yeah, it's amazing. The more will be revealed. Oh, we have Cat Nancy just came on for the first time because uh she was drawn to check out what was live on YouTube and doesn't usually watch lives. First time seeing the channel, and she appreciates this chat. So thank you. Thank you and welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you come back. We have these kind of conversations or something like this 3 times a week. And so it's really fun to see what kind of stuff comes through. Thank you so much, Anaî. And
Thank you.
I know people are going to ask me how to contact you. And before the answer was you can find her in Telegram in our Telegram group. Is there any other contact information you'd like to share?
Right, I have a website. I could just write it here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then I'll put it up in the comments for people to be able to.
Yes,
Awesome. On
anaisparkle.com.
Sparkle. All right. Okay, so y'all can find this right now in the live conversation, the live chat. Um, you can see there, and that's her website. So if you do want to contact her, that's another way to do it. Um, Thank you so much once again. I actually don't
Thank
know
you.
how to end this stream without just ending the call, so I'm just gonna hang up on us.
Yes, just
Okay,
do that.
thank you. Love
Thank
you.
you.